Now, the insurance organizations are classified basis on the risk coverage. They create a non-profit organization or a trust through which the funds are being collected, and they run it as a separate parent body altogether. The independent agents also carry on operation in interest of the client. So when you look into the organizational structure here, it is the same kind of structure that you can talk about in any of the companies. Good morning and welcome to the 6th session of Principles and Practice of General Insurance, where we are going to talk about the organization and management of general insurance. So moving further, let's try to understand the types of insurance organization. Now, the insurance organizations are classified basis on the risk coverage. That is the life insurance, general insurance, health, property, and auto. So when we are particularly talking about general insurance, we will be more about the health, property, and auto. Of course, fire insurance and the marine insurance are also a part of this. So there is a lot of emphasis towards this particular part, the general insurance, where we are going to talk about these kind of the factors. So here you would be able to see property insurance, marine insurance, fire, liability, guarantee, social insurance, and of course the health insurance, which is a part of this general insurance system altogether. Now, their agency system is independent, or either it can be exclusive or a direct selling formation from the legal standpoint of view, either a stock or mutual. So when I try to say you this, what is the factor here? What I am trying to put in here is that their agency might be either an independent, which means I work as a separate organization by myself, or I might be exclusive. That is, I have an exclusive dealership, I have an exclusive network of working, or I might be a direct selling where I have agents who are working for me in terms of selling that particular insurance for me. So my type and style of working will definitely differ from people to people, and that's very, very important for all of us to understand here. Now, the other thing that we need to start going further to understand is what are the factors, the types of insurance organizations that we are seeing in India today. We have stock companies which are owned and controlled by common stockholders. So when we talk about this kind of company, we would be talking about the HDFC Life, the Max Financial Services altogether, or when you start looking at the ICICI Prudential Life, these are all stock companies which are held by the common stockholders. They appoint the board of directors, who in turn are engaged in the operation. So typically, like a public listed companies, there are stockholders who are available. They will in turn look in for the people. They will in turn look into the operations. They will take charge and they would start running the organization. Now, profits are distributed among the stockholders. Very, very important. Profits are definitely distributed because there are dividend that is being given, and the dividend is normally looked into. Normally the policy holders are eligible for better, that is contracted, but not the dividend factors. What happens here is that, like any other company, the profits is being divided and given, but it's not mandatory that dividends are being given to that. The profits is generally shared among the people there. So when you look into this organization, they are also having an asset management company. They have a parent company which manages the corpus of funds that they have collected from the insurers, and they take it forward in terms of running the operations. Now, the types of insurance companies will also have mutual companies, normally non-profit organizations. So they are not primarily involved in running a profit-based organization where they just go forward and run it. Plus, they are actually, if you see, the initial contribution is arranged by them by a financial intermediary, and they have to repay back that financial. The surplus is generated normally and it is shared in terms of premiums, or it's shared in terms of the profit method altogether. Now, what happens here is that when you look at those mutual companies, they create a non-profit organization or a trust through which the funds are being collected, and they run it as a separate parent body altogether. So once the money is being collected and it's being done all together, the financial intermediary will act as a support, will act as a backup, will give them a reassurance, and they will run the system in the front end. So this is also a type of insurance company that you must be aware of. Followed by the Lloyd's of London. The Lloyd's of London is supposed to be the oldest form of organization and association of the insurer. So when you look into it, this is not just a company, but it's an association of the member and its insurance who are engaged in that. So now what happens here is that when you look into it, it has the underwriter's insurance, the unusual exposures that has been happening because of the publicity factors, and it even settles the largest claims in a very, very fair and prompt manner. It has a financial capacity to handle some of the largest claims, and it is known for its reputation in terms of innovation and in terms of the business factors altogether. This is known as the Lloyd's of London office, which is known for its reputation and innovation in terms of settling those large claims, in terms of settling all those innovation and technological area. It has the largest collection of underwriters and people who work together in terms of solving all kinds of the factors that are related to the insurance claims. Now, moving further, let's try to talk about selecting the form of organization. Now, what are the forms and format of organization? The arguments favoring stock insurer. Capital contribution by the owners adds to the funds available to absorb any sort of unfavorable operation. So what happens in a stock company, especially stock-based insurance companies, is that the capital contribution is done by the owners, the people who run the insurance company. And what do? Is that they put in this money in order to handle any sort of emergency or exigency situations where the situation goes out of hand. This money is being used in order to handle the situation. Now, the profit motive of the stock companies makes the operations even more effective. So what happens here is that the profit motive of the stock companies tries to understand that whatever premium is collected from the people, they put it into a common fund through which they generate the interest and they take care of the profit. But here, the independent agents also carry on operation in interest of the client. So there are independent agents who work for these kind of companies and they collect the maximum in terms of the interest value. Followed by the initial payments tend to be lower. Why? Because as you start young, the premiums that are being charged, the kind of premiums that has been added upon to you will be on the lower side. But as the asset value starts going older and older, the premiums will be on a very large basis, which will be of a great profit to these organizations. Followed by the organization structure of insurance companies. If you see that, the board of directors is assisted by the general manager, the company secretary, followed by the head management services where they have the main branch, the sub branches and the offices all together. So when you look into the organizational structure here, it is the same kind of structure that you can talk about in any of the companies. Why? Because in these companies, if you see that, they will again have a board. The management will be again divided into the CEO, followed by his respective vice presidents, general managers, officers in charge, the head of the department, followed by the various other officers who will be supporting the entire organization, and they shall function as a unit. followed by the organization structure tells that these are the areas under which the organization is primarily divided segment wise. These are the verticals that we are talking about. The actuary department, which is very, very important because that is the department that takes care of the function of understanding the insurance. They do a whole lot of statistical approach and they calculate the risk, they calculate the products, they actually design and tell which product, why it needs to be tailor-made, what kind of risk is involved with each kind of insurance, whom should be the target, what are all the different factors that we are involved. So actuary is a very big science that actually involves in terms of understanding the risk factors behind the insurance. The legal department, which takes care of all the legal formalities that are inbound with that of the particular documentation and the insurance. The finance department, which takes care of the monetary transactions and operation. The advertising department, which is closely related to the marketing department in terms of promoting the insurance. So this is also a very, very important department, followed by the medical department, which does the assessment about the health of the particular asset or about the particular people, so that the medical department will always give a correct value of the true insurance. The accounting department, which takes care of all the transaction, the debit and credit of the organization, followed by the underwriting and other important functions, which will be able to see what are all the challenges, what are all the functions that have gone through. So the underwriting and other important will be actually very, very crucial factor. Why? Because they will try to assess whether whatever insurance that is provided, the risk associated with it, is it matching, is it worth enough, is it profitable enough for the companies to pursue this kind of activity. With this, I come to the end of this particular session. I hope and believe that all the resources that are being shared through this particular session will be of a great help to you. In the upcoming sessions, we will be learning about the regulatory framework of the general insurance, which is predominantly controlled by the IRDAI. Until then, stay tuned, stay blessed, and stay enlightened forever. Thank you once again for joining me today on this wonderful session.